Home is so many things to me. Home is family, home is safety, it's everything.
A home is a future. It provides opportunity for a person to thrive and get out in the world and achieve their goals. It allows them to contribute to society and give back and to have a meaningful life.
I quite often say when we had to flee domestic violence, we lost our lives and we grieved for it. So when we did find stable housing, it meant everything to us, because we weren't having to, think about things that you just wouldn't even imagine, like, how are you going to buy your meal? Where are you going to get a meal from? Where are you going to wash your face? Where are you going to go to the toilet? So it was all those things that I think we don't think about if we haven't been through it.
Because they've never lived it, because they've never been out there to see it, their conception is, oh, they deserve it. They don't realize nobody deserves that kind of thing. Not everybody wants to be there. It's happened because of circumstances. My circumstances was my husband I had to run away from him because he started getting violent with me. And I've had violence all my life, and I just refused to stay any more violence, and I had to run away at the end. But people don't realize that, and I hope they never have to go through that.
My example is domestic and family violence. But on the outside, you wouldn't have known that we were homeless. I lived in the car for quite a few weeks, and then we were homeless for about 6 months all up, me and the children trying to find somewhere. But on the outside, you wouldn't know. So we still had some clothes and we still looked respectable and everything. But it's something that is really quite hidden as well.
It takes a lot out of people that are homeless. The day is long, it's tiring, you have nowhere to go, you're dirty, you're hungry. You live in, sometimes I lived in people's front lawns. I would pee in their front lawns. I'm not ashamed to say it, because that's all I could do. I have no Kleenex to wipe myself. I have nothing. I have dirty underwear because I have nowhere to get clean clothes.
When I was experiencing couch surfing, I was constantly sick. Like, my immune system was shutting down. My body was just not coping with the stress, and the stress of not knowing where I'm going to go tomorrow. Like, I couldn't sleep at night because I was just thinking, where am I going to go tomorrow?
I lost who I was. I lost myself. My inner self was gone. And it was really hard at that stage to think of the next day, let alone the next hour. And, how do we work this out? How do I find somewhere to live? How do I find a job?
There's, with the stigma, so many people going, you're a troubled teenager, what have you done at home to annoy mum and dad, or you've left home willingly. And my school teachers were even just very dismissive and put it back on me that I had done something wrong and that I was the problem.
I was ashamed, and I was scared to tell anybody. I couldn't tell my children because they have their own issues. Like you can't bother your people for everything when they have other things to to do. They've got kids, they've got a family. I'm their mother, and I know he would have helped me, but at what cost? They have to take something off the table to help me. So I couldn't do that to them.
I was so lucky to have heard from another student, a peer at the time at school, that they were living in the youth foyer, and they told me about it because I was also connected with 3 different services that never brought up anything about the foyer. So my school, a mental health support, and then an employment support, like all 3 of them I was engaged with, and they couldn't even point me in the right direction. And that also, I guess, frustrates me, because there is that stigma of people who are homeless aren't doing enough, or they've put themselves in that situation. But like, I'm a prime example of, I was at school, I was working, I had employment services, I was with mental health services, like trying to give myself an opportunity and just stay above baseline, stay afloat, and no one still could help me or point me in the right direction. Without the frontline workers in the sector, you know, in the homelessness sector, helping me, I would have just fallen through the cracks and gone about my life with all of the challenges I was facing alone.
If it wasn't for Sasha's, for Hag, I'd still be there and I'd be dead by now.
I just remember the first time I engaged with the system and I had my first ever intake worker just listen to me and really validate my experience and actually put me as a priority in the system, and it was just really nice to be heard for the first time. Shout out to Tessa, love her.
Yeah. It was like little angels, really, our first lot of help. So it was Jean and Jen, and amazing people when we ended up in a safe home in Melbourne. And it was just the most incredible feeling. They'd come for a cup of tea weekly. They'd sit down, we'd have a chat and at our kitchen table, and they'd just ask what we needed. And it's something that I'll never forget. And then from there, when we moved into Melbourne, and we had, once more I ended up speaking with Macaulay, and I had the most incredible people there as well, to the point of, you know, where you feel equal and you feel loved, which is just, that was a beautiful feeling. And I think that's what I've learned so far from people that have helped. It's the love that they bring as well. And it's not just, you know, let's hand you some vouchers for some food, which is lovely as well, but it is more than that. It's a really, it's a connection, and it's a connection that you can't lose.
I bought a keychain with my name, Vanessa. I had no keys to go in it. I don't know why I bought it, but it just said Vanessa, and I bought it. And I had it with me all the time and thinking, I'm gonna find a house, I'm gonna find somewhere nice, I'm gonna make a home. Then afterwards, when I finally got some help from HAG and organizations, they gave me a key. I mean, I didn't even know what this place looked like inside. I just saw it from the window inside, and I said, I'll take it. I didn't care where it was, I took it. And she gave me, Luke was the manager at that time down at the housing people, and I had keys, and I put it on I pulled that out and I went, I have a house now, I have a home.
It wasn't until I've had stable housing that, you know, I was able to just build my health back, and as a result of that, I'm able to contribute more to my community, to society. I'm a taxpayer, I'm studying, and I'm not just like ticking, you know, the fundamental basics of life, those boxes. I'm not ticking them, I'm exceeding them, and I'm achieving all the goals I've set and more. Like, I'm now a CEO and founder of my own business.
Oh goodness me, I do so much in life, I really do. I make the most of every day. I create things, so I love doing paintings, big paintings of scenery. I love doing pottery, and I run my small business of pottery. And I also work for two not-for-profits that are in domestic violence and homelessness, so it's beautiful, so I'm still giving back in that way as well.
Now, I'm the happiest little peacock you ever want to see. I'm that budding flower that just blooms every summer, spring. When I do my peppers, it's just, oh, when I see them blooming, coming out, I just think, oh, Lord God, look what I've got. And I'm thankful every day, and I know I have a future, and I'm hoping to give other people a future like mine. I want to see other people happy the way I am. I'm only sad that I had to wait 60 odd years to be this happy. It's taken me 60 odd years to live and have a future. And now I'm living that life, but I want other people to have a beautiful, bright future like mine. And that's only going to happen if somebody else helps us.
The workers in the sector really go above and beyond. And I think the quality of care given can really depend on the level of investment and the resources that the workers have. So we need further investment so that we can have our workers, able to do their job and do it properly, because at the end of the day, they're working with lives and lives that matter.
People need help, but if governments and other people like that don't help, then these people will stay on the street and die. What hope do we have? No wonder they're on drugs. No wonder they want to kill themselves. There's nowhere to go. They think that's all there is in their life, and that's not on. It's not what life is all about. I am personally here saying that life is meant to be lived. And we can't live it if you guys don't help us to live it. We didn't choose to be homeless. We didn't choose to be out there living like pigs. We want help so that you guys can help us to live like human beings with respect that we have for you guys. We want to be respected the same way. And I hope that this gets out to these politicians and help us more, because we need that help.
What I'd like you to ask the decision makers and change makers in our room is to look beyond the stigma and the prejudice and bias that they may carry towards homelessness, and realise that yes, it's an issue and it can be a frustrating issue, but there's actually a human behind that issue, and this is an issue that can be fixed and should be fixed for the dignity and quality of the lives of members in our community.
Imagine more funding being put into homelessness. We need to come up with new ways to solve the issue of homelessness. This should not be happening in Australia. So we need funding. We need a lot more of it, and we need to really understand that that funding is going to go in something that in the long term is going to be helping everybody as a whole.
What are you doing to help these people? How can you help these people? What, if anything, stop cutting everything that's important to these people? Where is it going to go from here? Are you going to do anything? We need answers, and we need it today.